it goes.
Have a presentation.
I don't. I was just hoping to get the Zoom up there so we can.
Over the weekend, you get any more rain? More?
Maybe, seemed like what, Friday night or Saturday night,
Put up.
a light sprinkle or something, middle of the night, a lot of wind. We lost power last night. Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went off last night
In
for the
Mo.
whole city.
4 hours, something like that.
Is it that long?
It went off at like 11:15, 11:10, and it came back, I think, at 3 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I live right next to that transformer station. They've been working on that for 6 months now. And I consider Rocky Mountain Power a good neighbor. They try really hard. They drive slow up and down the street and so on and so forth. They talk to me when there's something going on. And they put up a nice retaining wall as part of the new transformer that we're getting, because Moab has outgrown the transformer that's currently there, as well as it was just about at the end of its lifetime. But yes, it was a planned power outage
Or
and
was it?
they moved things over.
I only know about it because I live right behind the city building, so when the generator fires up, I hear it.
Well, I knew about it because it got hot in my house because it was 80 degrees
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
last night. That was
that's-
up below 79 yesterday.
That's what I noticed.
Anyways. They did their best and Bill, they were working with heavy equipment
Oh, I'll bet.
and lights. Not right outside my window. I could hear them, but it wasn't disturbing to me. But you know, I appreciate being able to turn on the lights.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
That AC is pretty important.
We take it for granted.
Yeah, and especially since it was so humid last night.
Yeah.
Like, the temperature just didn't really drop and you're like, if I open the window, it doesn't help.
No. So it wasn't just me thinking it was more humid than normal.
No, it definitely is. Yeah.
I'm not seeing
Following update.
the,
Thanks for getting this up.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's-
thank you.
Do not close this window.
Yeah.
Following updates.
The state doesn't like us downloading new software.
Yeah, it won't let us.
We'll get on the internet.
I think I'm finally in, yeah.
Okay.
I actually shut my phone off and rebooted.
Will it let you in, Mac?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
So I was just making sure Bill can get on.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't have the documents associated with the template for this coordinating council with connection time. I guess you have a copy of them we can get online.
Yeah. Yep, I forgot to print them on Friday, but
There's some.
pull them up online. You have some?
I
Great.
do.
Perfect.
Which
Thank
one do you want? Arnie, which one are you lost
All the
at?
organization stuff, bylaws. Thank you so very much.
Anybody else want a copy of this?
I would take one.
It'd be helpful to have it in my hand.
There he is.
I'm in handy.
Thank you, sir.
You have one?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
It's muted.
Recording in progress.
Oh, I like it. I think so. Not super bright. Be the best we're gonna get. Yeah. Okay. Get started. Maybe just,
I think we're ready.
yeah,
Okay.
reintroduce ourselves, see who's here.
You can start us off.
I sure do. I'm Carly Payne with the Division of Water Resources. I am the Watershed Council's coordinator, so basically here to provide you support, help you be successful, but really encourage you to make this group your own and whatever you want it to be.
I'm Jack Heinzman. I'm an area planning specialist with the Division of Water Resources. I'm also here as a support and kind of your alternate contact for this meeting.
My name is Doug Garrett. I'm with Intrepid Potash. I'm the divisional controller. I'm here for Travis Fletcher, who's the plant manager who could not make it today, so he normally will be here. But I'm here for him today.
Thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Bruce Adams, San Juan County Commissioner.
Bill Winfield, Grand County Commissioner.
Lexi Lamb, Sustainability Director, City of Moab.
Barney Holtquist, Watershed Coordinator for Grand and San Juan County with the DWQ.
I'm Mac McDonald, San Juan County Administrator.
Holly, do you want to go next?
Yeah, Hollywood with the Langdon Group. The Langdon Group was contracted by Division of Water Resources to help establish and implement the councils.
And Corey?
Corey Farnsworth, USU Extension. I'm over agriculture and natural resources in Grand County.
And
And I live on a ranch east of Moab and I'm a Grand County resident.
who's next? Kara?
I direct small nonprofit in Moab and also manage some property on the Colorado River for native seed production.
Great. Letitia? Oh, she actually might not be at her seat right now. Dana?
Hi, I'm Dana Van Horn. I'm a board member with the Board of Water Resources, and I represent Grand Emery, San Juan, and Carbon counties on that board, the Upper Colorado Rivershed, water Rivershed, sorry. Monday.
Great. And Trisha?
I'm Trish Hadeen and I'm a Grand County Commissioner.
All right. You want to take it away, Mac?
Sure. Certainly. So we had some assignments last meeting to reach out and kind of fill in the blanks of individuals. I appreciate that we have Intrepid here. That's awesome. Reached out to Energy Fuels on my part. I haven't heard back yet from Mark, the CEO of that organization, but hopefully we'll be able to get somebody else there. And then I think that was we were missing about 3. Somebody was gonna reach out to Steve Dieter in LaSalle. I don't know if that contact had been made or not.
Holly, I think Dan was going to reach out to Steve. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard. I'll follow up with Dan. Yeah, I'll send him a message right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then someone was going to reach out to Heidi Red.
I thought that it was going to be Shane that was going to reach out to both Heidi and Charlie. I don't think Shane's here though.
Okay. So we have a couple that are still missing. We'll continue to work on them, see if we can get them here at the table. I saw Charlie yesterday, so I know he's around. I think a lot of it is just that extending the invitation, getting them out here. And so we'll continue to follow that just to make sure we get everybody here, just that equal representation.
Yeah.
For our part. I think the next item on the agenda was going through the organizing documents, kind of the bylaws and policy templates, so that we can get that to a point. Hopefully we can get it to adopting that document today. I know that there may be some changes or there's some blanks in here that we need to fill in, and so kind of turn the time to open discussion of what we need to enter, what we need to omit, and try to get this working document to a point where we can adopt with changes, hopefully what we're after today, and then this is kind of that precursor to everything else here in the future, and so we need to get this one as far along as we can.
This can be changed.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's
That's
a
why-
living document.
That's why I
Yes.
mentioned.
So if we wanna nitpick at it here over and over again, we could, or we could get through it, and if we found something we didn't like at a later date that wasn't working for us, we could amend the policies.
It makes more sense than line by line.
Mhm.
Okay,
I like that, Arnie.
Arnie's got great ideas always.
Yeah.
okay, so if we start under the paragraph, let's see.
We're gonna be the southeast.
Role, authority and duties. Go through, you can kind of see the blue. Letters in there, just the blue words typically is something that has been entered into, can change. Looks like in one, as I go through here, section 1, that role, section 2, authority. Section 3, are pretty much just stating Utah code on there, so the Utah code changes.
I was wondering what you wanted to be, the name of this thing. It says Southeast Colorado River Watershed Council, but the Southeast Colorado is Grand and San Juan County at this point in time.
Where are you looking at in the document?
Right at the very top there where it says this organizing document name, and then down below under number 1, it says name. And I just am wondering whether or not the folks here want to be the Southeast Colorado River Watershed Council, or do you could consider making it the Grand and San Juan Watershed Council too, which is really more of a reflection of what you are, my opinion, but I don't care. It's not a big deal to me either way.
Holly, how are they throughout the state on the other, as you've reorganized throughout the state, are they area specific or?
There hasn't been another council that's changed the name. I'm not sure if the names themselves were determined in like the act. I would need to double check on that.
I believe you can change your name, but you cannot change the geographic boundaries. So that's my understanding.
I believe you're correct, Arnie, that it is just these 2 counties that make up, but I'm gonna triple check.
Yeah,
It's definitely.
I'm positive it is, and the point was with that is that the political boundaries are not necessarily the geographic boundaries for Southeast Colorado.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay, the Vernal, Uintah County does have areas that drain towards us,
Mm.
but they're not part of our council.
Sure.
So anyways, that was just my question, and it's not a big deal to me either way. I just see that if we say it's the Southeast Colorado, we're not really the Southeast Colorado. We're mostly Southeast Colorado. Bruce or Bill, do you have anything at all? You just want to be the Southeast Watershed Council?
I don't have anything against the Southeast Water Council. I mean, we're on the other one. I forget the name of that other water board, but it's the same thing. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have any.
The only thing, the water that flows through Grand and San Juan, a lot of it comes from Colorado. Either the San Juan River or the Colorado River. Might want to say Southeastern Utah.
I like
Good
that.
idea too.
I like that too. Let's,
Southeastern
Utah Water Council.
Watershed Council.
Southeastern Utah Colorado River Watershed Council.
Yeah. That way we don't get thinking we're managing water out of Colorado.
It's definitely less of a mouthful.
There's no objections to that out there, is there? Didn't think so.
No, you'll just need to be prepared to explain to the statewide council why you chose that. And I'm,
It's fine, yeah.
yeah.
And so where did we end up with it?
So Southeastern Utah,
Colorado.
and I don't know, do we have to have Colorado in there?
I think we do.
I wouldn't.
More than the
No.
Colorado River. So
That's true.
Is Colorado, just Southeastern Utah Watershed Council
yeah,
should encompass all of those instead of throwing Utah and Colorado.
river.
Excuse me.
See the biggest.
Colorado River.
Dana has a comment, I think.
Dana,
I can't figure out how to raise my hand, so sorry. Anyway, personally, my thoughts are to keep it the way that the state organized it, because then all their documents won't need to be changed and all the maps and all the things that they came up with to do this. So I don't really think it's all just a name anyway. It doesn't matter to me. But, you know, as far as giving everybody else homework, if we change it, seems like it might be a lot. How's it?
would it change much of the state? And so, okay, so it sounds like they're okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call it that, Southeastern Utah Watershed Council.
And it is just these two counties, doesn't.
Just these two.
Do any of the counties go outside the borders, or they're totally?
I can share the map of the boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
There's a very small part of Grand County that's in the Uinta Basin, but I'm pretty confident nobody lives there, so.
Yeah, he's correct. There is a portion of Grand that is not included within this council. So I'd maybe recommend not saying San Juan and Grand County because it's not all Grand County, but
Yeah, but it sounds like Southeastern is
Southeastern should be
basic
sufficient.
enough,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, that gets us out of the meeting. Appreciate that for
We've made it past the time.
seeing that piece. Everything else looked like it was Utah code reference.
We can put in.
Hey, down on
Any number of members at this point in
section
time.
2 membership, that's where I was gonna go is. Will be composed of. Number of members.
Not to exceed 50.
That many, let's narrow that down.
I'm pretty sure they want a maximum of 20.
Yeah, she gave us a number. I don't remember what it was, but I thought it was 21.
21, I think, is maximum in the code.
But why don't we just put 21 in there and that allows us to bring people in up to that number, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything in the legislation that says you can't have vacant seats?
So there's 24 that are named. On the initial document.
Okay, and that includes the people you're hoping to add?
So that's yes, correct.
Okay,
Those that are missing, like Energy Fuels, Steve Dieter, Charlie Tracy. So that totals up to 24. Alone right there, and so if you had
let's see if I can find the legislation.
24.
believe
voting
that
members.
the cap of 21 has been more like loosened recently. The only caution there is the higher number of members you have, the more you're going to need an attendance for every meeting for a quorum. So I think you can push it to more than 21, but just be aware of that.
So do you want to put 24 so you
Yeah,
can
let's
include
do
everyone we
24.
got now?
24,
Okay,
So you need 13 for a quorum.
13 for a quorum.
okay.
We also have, is it Kara or Kara?
Cara,
It's Kara,
Oh, sorry.
but no, it's fine. I don't worry about that.
I know that she's expressed some interest in participating as well, so I don't know if we want to look into that while we're talking about it.
And I also forgot to mention I'm a conservation district supervisor as well, so that kind of puts some ag interest into it too, and I can speak to that body regularly.
So on here, we added liaisons and we could put Cara down as a liaison in the future if we needed to add more in, but right now, as far as named, got 24. I know that a couple other people wanted on, but I think it just depends on the function and the
I
role.
think
they serve.
Cara as a member would be, I can't figure out how to raise my hand either. I think having Cara as a member would be incredibly useful. She has a lot of knowledge about water in a number of ways that would be great.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, sorry, I'm just gonna leap in here, but for those of you who don't know me terribly well, I've been working along Mill and Pat Creeks in Grand County for a long, and partially in San Juan County for a long time. And I'm also a part of the creek stewardship working group set up by the city. And thanks to a relatively large successful grant application to the Community Wildfire Defense Grant Program through USDA, we'll have a pretty robust program developing over the next 5 years in the creek corridors in town.
Thank you, Cara. So number 11 here on page 4 says local sponsors of reclamation projects, which we don't have a single one here in this area. Cara has sponsored a lot of restoration and other type of watershed projects in the area. And she would be an ideal person to fulfill that role in terms of who has sponsored projects here. It's just not reclamation.
Don't you work for her?
The act does specify Bureau of Reclamation.
The act does specify reclamation projects.
It does.
Maybe we should ask.
So I know there's a couple that in Cock Creek that do that similar work.
Mhm. So do you guys want to vote on adding Cara as a member? I don't know under what category, but and up the limit to 25. Do you think some of those highlighted names won't show up and we can take them off?
I think where this is the second meeting, it's pretty hard to.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a hard time getting everybody to show up.
We had Heidi Red as the water dependent habitat and environments. Which is kind of similar.
Which is similar to
As
what
far as
Cara does, yeah.
The title
So could we put Cara in there?
and Heidi Red.
Yeah.
Or just have Heidi Red.
Heidi and Cara.
Yeah, we could put them both, since we haven't contacted Heidi yet, right?
That was Shane, I think that was reaching out to
Yeah.
Heidi.
Also, if these are public meetings, I'm happy to kind of just watch and pay attention and chime in if folks are, if it's relevant. And, you know, as Dana put in the chat here, also terms expire apparently. I know very little about this, so I'm mostly here to learn today, but it sounds like some terms may expire in 2025, which is not as far away as it feels. So, you know, but it doesn't matter to me particularly. I'm just interested in what y'all are doing.
I think we wait and see if Heidi's gonna fill that spot, and if not, then we put Cara in there.
Yeah, since the terms are 2 years, I think we also discussed that if some of these people aren't responsive quickly, then they could come in when somebody else's term expires. So they might be people on our list as future members.
Okay.
Which also might let us have a lower number of total people on the council in order to help with the quorum issue.
I would just put out there, we've got Cara here and she said she's interested, whereas we haven't, like I've reached out to Heidi, but this is the third meeting she hasn't responded to. If you're just gonna do one, I'd maybe recommend including Cara and taking Heidi off for now because we have not seen that interest from her yet.
I would concur with that. And I know right now Heidi's pretty busy with her book tour. And some traveling. So I think I would concur with what you're saying, Holly.
That makes sense to me.
Heidi does show interest down the road. You could have her as a liaison until terms are up, reevaluate.
And that'll keep us at 24.
the only thing I worry about that is, so anybody shows up, we're gonna let them on the board because they're showing up just out of the blue, or I don't know if anybody reached out to Cara and made the invitation for her to be here, or Cara, if you're just acting on your own, just showing up.
At the, way back in the day when I first talked to Dan, I did mention Cara.
Mm.
2 years ago when he called me and said, hey, we gotta put this council together. I did speak to him about Cara, so.
And Trisha Hedin reached out to Cara, she says in the chat.
Okay.
And I think, we're fixing the number of participants today, and so then that's taken care of.
I do think there's value in including the people who are interested.
Absolutely. I was just wondering on the flip side of how did we do a public notification of people that are interested, or is it just word of mouth that people are hearing about it? And, or is it individual members that are reaching out to others saying, hey, come and help us with this? I worry about the public side of it is, if there wasn't a public solicitation, then is there the potential we're just stacking the deck of who we know, rather than who actually wants to be a part of this, who would be effective at it?
Yeah, you have a good point there. At this point in time, we haven't discussed how we're gonna go get new people, and I think that's a great way to go get new people, is to put some things out there in the public. Right now, we're just putting this together to get something started.
Just throwing it together.
Yeah, and then when seats become vacant, then we should probably do something like a public notice. But at this point in time, we need people to be here.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a public thing, and there was a whole website where you could recommend people or put them, or sign up for yourself. That's how the state took care of it, and or Dan's outfit. So I don't think that's an issue. And
Yeah.
frankly, I think if we put 24 people on here, when the terms expire, you're going to have a hard time finding 24 more. I think it's best to reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to be on the second term? People who aren't responsive are doing it. And I like that, having less people for a quorum is a lot more helpful. And if you've ever been on a board with that many people, it's hard to get anything done.
Especially with 11 having a quorum.
In section 3, member selection, second paragraph, it talks about following you to a post. In A and B.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what those codes are, but I imagine it has to do with public notice. Be my guess.
The first meeting of this MAC, there was an accident that I guess a
Correct,
lot of people
yeah.
couldn't make it up from San Juan County. But
Yeah.
essentially, it was a group like this kind of recommending good people
Good
that
people.
would be interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we have had issue of getting into contact and getting people
Yeah,
on
getting
board.
people
So
there.
I think if there's enough to form it now, this
Just
is
go with it.
a great thing to move forward, and it can change over time.
Okay, so is everybody comfortable with taking Heidi Red off and then?
Yes.
Carol? So looking around.
Yes.
Maybe you want a motion to officially add Cara and Travis, you said is who you're representing?
That's who was invited to come. I don't know who Travis wants to be the representative from
Okay,
Intrepid. I don't think it'll be me.
okay. But is
But-
your understanding that he does want someone to
Yes.
participate?
Yes, absolutely. I think it will probably be our environmental engineer, but that would be a decision that Travis would need to make. So
Okay.
there is a spot there, I think, that Intrepid would like to have representation, but I just don't know the name.
Yeah, we've got you on there.
Okay.
I think we leave Travis in that spot for now and let him make the decision.
Whatever he thinks best.
If he wants to appoint somebody, or else we leave it open and just leave it as Intrepid, but we want that representation.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, does anybody want to make that motion to add Kara? Kara,
So moved. I'll make the motion to add Cara Dornwend and a representative from Intrepid, currently Travis, to the council.
I'll second. Any further discussion?
I mean, what Travis's last name is.
Fletcher.
Fletcher?
Yes.
Are there any objections? We usually do this. Are there any objections? And
Did they just make you chair?
no.
Just checking. So any further discussion with that motion in the second? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Awesome. Okay, Kara.
In section 4, the first paragraph, it says members may designate proxies to act already.
And that's the Intrepid, yeah, that perfect.
So I don't know that, you know, we have to,
Right, that leaves Travis available
Yeah,
to do
it
whatever, send
leaves
whoever he
anybody.
wants, all of us actually.
any
have
member
it.
can appoint a proxy, the way I read it.
Okay, so we're sticking with the cap of 24. What it sounds like.
That's what I had, 24, and then we switched the membership for Kara. Paragraph C, to implement the intent of the act, the national council members will consist of individuals representing these interests. To me, we have the interest kind of already highlighted on
Yeah.
the previous document. I would just recommend adding those in
Yeah,
there,
I think
minus
that's what's supposed to be
the
in there.
liaisons, and so.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll add those in there.
Down in section 5, it says you should stagger the membership terms as well. Two or 4 years. It also sounds like if somebody's interested in staying on, things down till they find a replacement. So you just don't look for a replacement, you just keep them on.
So do you want to assign member terms now?
That need to be in the paper to go with this.
It does.
I guess we should. I'm here till 2025, June of 2020, July of 2025.
I'll take a 2-year term.
That was Anne.
Yes.
Okay, let me pull this up so I can start marking these down.
I'll take a 6-month term, somebody will replace it.
1 year.
An option.
If you have to.
We just leave that seat open to another one of the commissioners
Yeah.
And
to
that's
fill
what-
when Bruce goes out.
Back on the membership. I think on there, if we just make that statement that if you're representing a county commission seat or even Curtis Unito, where he's with the Navajo Nation Council, if they're voted out of office, then we look for a replacement from those elected seats. And so I think that'd be a lot easier on those, and so.
So, Alexi, city's term? 2 years?
City term.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of similar to Intrepid where somebody from the city will be there, but I don't know if it will always be me.
At some point in time,
Yeah.
yeah, but. And whoever it is can designate a representative, so.
Sure,
So
exactly.
just how long the term do you think the city should take? A year or 2 years?
It's 2 or 4.
It's 2 or 4.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll do it for-
Oh, now it's 2 or 4. Well, I guess I'm here for 2 years.
So, yeah, I'll put you down for 2.
Okay.
So if you go city and county staff at a 4-year.
But after your 2-year term, it's another 4 years after that, right? I mean, it's 2 years now and then.
And
4
then
4 years,
everyone-
yes.
So they're staggered.
You got a member vacancy section number 8 as well. Talks about if a vacancy comes available, how you address that,
Do that solicitation.
basically the same way you form the council.
I like that.
For member terms, do you want me to just go down the list and start assigning 2s and 4s, or does anyone else have a strong preference they want to throw out?
Do 2 for Intrepid.
For
Our
Intrepid.
environmental engineer is gonna be retiring probably in the next couple of years and
All right,
give him an opportunity to do that. We'll rotate into a 4-year term with whomever the next person is.
okay, sounds great. Who else is here?
I'll do Curtis Unito under the tribe as a 2-year.
Then, Alexi, did you say what you prefer?
Since it's gonna be a 4-year term for somebody else from the city afterwards, I don't have a preference, so.
Where do you just get a blanket 2-year term is?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
Looking
it's.
for-
Put Dana as an 8-year.
8 year.
Really?
Yeah, heck yeah. See,
I'll
she-
do a 4. I'm already in for the other board for 5, so I'm here.
Ben
Well-
Nelson, and I'll do a 4.
Sorry.
I mean, is it a good idea to just put all the people who would be replaced by other elected officials as the 2, because it is
That's-
an election year?
That's what I got for Curtis Unito.
Okay,
I switched him to the 2 just because of that. Yeah.
That probably ought to be. Your city.
Who
You
else
do
is-
Commissioner
One
Winfield.
from Grand and one. from-
The-
Yeah.
I don't think it matters either with the mutual irrigation companies because they all, I mean, there's only so many of them, so they're probably gonna end up restaying, just continuing to serve, so I don't think.
yeah, so then I would
matters.
probably just say, let's make one of them a 2 and one a 4, so they're.
That's great, perfect.
Okay, Mac?
Commissioner Headlining.
I think Corey should be, or in that, as being in, with USU, should, somebody from his outfit, even if he leaves his job, will be coming, so same thing there. Either one, he'll be coming back in 2 years anyway.
For me, I think if I was 2 years, I could switch around if I need to, but I plan to be here long term, so whichever you guys feel like you need.
Already saying 4.
Yeah.
You're in for the long haul, Corey.
Mhm. What about John? I
4.
don't think he's here.
2.
2, so that it alternates.
Wow.
Okay. Who are we missing? Gary Wilson,
Make him a 2.
a 2,
Yeah,
and then Steve a 4, so
sure.
assuming he comes.
I think this is going well. Personally, like in each group, as long as you're staggering the interest group,
Yeah.
then that doesn't matter about the people really.
Yeah,
Do energy.
Yeah, I
field.
like that.
okay. Let's see, we got water planning and research institutions, watershed management, we have Kevin Clyde and Charlie Tracy. Random,
Charlie Tracy's not
Yeah,
going
2
anywhere.
and 4.
so give Charlie a 4. Jason Taylor, does anyone know him?
I'm not sure he's even gonna make this at any point in time. Do you, Alexi?
I haven't heard from him.
He showed some interest when I spoke with him personally,
Mm,
but he hasn't been able to, I don't know if he's been informed about these meetings or not either.
That's true. I don't
You wanna
know if he's on the list.
Is he-
I need to still be added to
City
the list.
council.
He's city council, but he's listed here under industry, which
Yes.
also makes,
Because of, yeah, that makes sense with Western.
mhm. But if he's not coming, do you want to leave him or maybe make him a liaison?
He has been receiving the invites, so he should be aware.
So 2-year.
Okay, so we're got industry, we got Arnie as a 2, mutual irrigation, Ken 2, Shane 4.
How many years did you say? And then you're retiring on
What about Selwyn? Should we make him a 4 to balance?
So Letitia, are you here in like in the stead of Selwyn? Should this just be your name, Letitia?
Maybe leave Salvin up there and I don't know, like make me an alternate or something is how we've been doing some of these boards.
You could proxy in for,
Yeah, anytime. He could send you as his proxy.
yeah.
It'll either be me or our general counsel that usually are alternates. Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Attorney to come to-
Trisha, do you want to be 2 or 4?
I'll do 2.
Okay, great. We don't have any local sponsors. Public water suppliers, Ben 4, Dana 4, Alexi 2, Chris.
Why is Chris there?
Is that the Chris Baird out of Grand?
Yeah, I wasn't
It's
sure.
not
Should he be
really
moved?
Why is his name on there even at all?
Chris Baird was,
Yeah, I'm not sure why he would be
no,
on
there
there.
was another, it's not the Grand County on there. There's another Chris Baird.
Oh, there's another
was
Chris
placed
Baird?
in last time. Hold that one. I think that was from this was the.
Oh, Monticello.
City.
It's Monticello City.
Yeah.
Oh.
Monticello City. So yeah, keep him, I'd probably put that as a 2-year.
Okay.
He didn't know.
Might be,
He
might
was
be
here
good
the
to
last
put Monticello
meeting,
on
right?
there too.
He was sent in. It used to be Nate, and Nate was his boss. So Nate's left the city, and so Chris came. Just as kind of a proxy, and so,
Okay. So we'll leave him.
yeah.
Kara, are you interested in 2 or 4 years?
2 is fine. If it works, if it makes it work out right.
How many 4s do we have? 4, 5.
You're getting pretty heavy on 2-year terms. Some people are gonna need to probably volunteer.
I'm fine with 4. Also, it doesn't
We
bother
tried
me.
to rotate, we just tried to each
Yeah,
interest, we had kind of a 2 and 4
yeah, make sure you have one of
in
these.
those, so you have some,
How long do you want, Mac?
one,
Hmm.
Yeah.
So 4.
4,
Now we have Bill for 2. I don't know where that giant space came from. And Bruce.
I don't think it matters between Bill and I, either we'll serve or whoever replaces us will serve, so.
So it doesn't matter.
Or 4 either
Let's give
way.
you a 4 then, just so we can balance it a little. And did I push anybody
yeah, that
down?
makes sense.
Nope. Okay. I
Okay.
think we have everyone assigned.
Alrighty,
Mac, I also think under section 3 officers that we need to still nominate a alternate for the representative.
If you want to.
I think it would be wise to have one from Grand and San Juan and considering the positions of commissioners, I'd recommend it be Bruce, but if somebody else in San Juan wants that, I'm fine with it. And
We'll be
then,
here for 6 months.
right, but then the next person would be in that position is my thoughts.
do we just name the position itself, a commissioner, San Juan commissioner? Grand County commissioner?
Here for.
Well, yeah, and I don't care if it's Mac, but I think it should be somebody from San Juan County, so because there's already representation in Grand County.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say maybe don't label the alternate has to be a commissioner, but say we'd like it to be someone from San Juan.
Sure.
I like that idea too.
And so at this point right now, do we just name Bruce or Mac into that position? And it doesn't matter to me what, they can work that out here between the two of them? So that
I
we
think
have
it's, I think it's hard
designation.
to, sorry.
Go ahead, Dana.
I was just gonna say, it's hard to, you're gonna paint yourself in a corner. I think that successive council should be able to appoint whoever they want, and so. Just, if you leave it as broad as possible, then they get to vote their own person in.
Good point.
I don't know, that kind of takes away from the idea that we're a unified council.
That's, I worry about, I've seen on other boards where it's kind of a takeover and you get the membership there and all of a
Don't
sudden
mind
there's somebody else.
having an understanding with somebody from San Juan and Grand, but
Yeah, yep,
to just say, well, this part of the council is gonna elect somebody and
yeah,
this part of the council is gonna elect somebody. I'm not sure that's wise.
Yeah, want to be more unified than that.
Yeah. I
But
didn't mean it
yeah.
in any divided way at all.
yeah, by naming it, you kind of guarantee that seat.
It's sad that we have to, huh?
I know. I've seen the takeovers happen and it's not pretty.
Agreed, but it's just, again, disappointing.
And if we want to leave it more open, does anyone want to volunteer to be the alternate to the state council? That's
I will, for San Juan for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Yeah, for 6 months and then whoever comes into that,
Yeah,
Lori, I guess we can just
Yeah.
call it that. Just
that's decided, yeah. Our two opponents conceded.
yeah. Good.
They both called it conceded.
So we could push it automatically to Lori.
Or you can have a new vote.
Yeah.
Do whatever you feel. I think we're missing in here.
So do we need to vote right now then to make it Bruce as the alternate? Do we?
Probably.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, you have a 2nd?
I'll second that.
Okay, Dana's second on there. Any discussion? Not hearing any. Those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. Shall be so. All right. Okay, and here on the officers we've elected the last time, we'll have the co-chair. So we'll just have to re-word that paragraph to represent the
Two co-chairs.
co-chair
Yeah,
and not a vice chair.
yeah. And then you decided not to have a count or a secretary from the
Correct.
actual board.
We would just balance it back and
Okay.
forth between San Juan and Grand. Terms, we figured out. So with the terms, there's also the terms of the co-chairs. You still want those to be a 2-year or every year? Rotate those or?
Matt, we decided to have Grand County pay compensation and reimbursement, didn't we?
Aren't these?
No.
What?
What we actually decided was that the, what's the term we use? The state should be reimbursing the county for, both counties for what the work's doing or assigning us a secretary. That was the discussion we
Did we
actually.
get the state to agree to that?
We actually had, and that's what we were forwarding to Carly over here. Okay.
Yeah,
And she's,
some magic.
but she's heard this already
Entire
before,
legislature
but just
really
make sure that is what
Yeah.
we were suggesting that the state do.
Yeah, I do recommend you submit those suggestions for their review of the act.
I thought Grand volunteered.
I will say on the subject of officer terms, a year's pretty short if that's only 4 meetings.
Okay, so
But-
2 years is fine.
Yeah, but it's up to you.
No, 2 years. Is fine. The officer duty, so this Robert's Rules of Order, nobody really follows that, and we've been advised by our legal to not even list Robert Rules of Order.
Oh, really?
So would we want to talk about a different method by which we would agree to converse and discuss amongst ourselves?
So I don't know, if you have like a meetings procedure, I know that San Juan County, we're working on that to adopt as a commission. I could get you those to our, it's a little bit more freely, you kind of see is how we've acted today. It's not at all like Robert's Rules of Order, and so it's more of just kind of an ad hoc type chairing the meeting and keeping it orderly. When we get members of the public here, obviously as chair, co-chair would have the responsibility to making sure that the public stays in line.
Like Mac said, our liability indemnity company came up with some meeting procedures that would pretty much cover every meeting that we held and how to interact with public and interact with each other, and it's a lot more simple than Robert's rules.
But at this point in time, we don't have that document.
Yeah, I think Matt can get it for us, so we can get it, we don't.
We could
adopt it today.
We
but
could strike that from,
We could get it to you.
I think if we,
I'd be interested in reading that. I'm curious what an attorney's objection was to Robert's rules. They seem to function pretty well in my experience.
if you read the Robert's Rules of Order, nobody practices that. How it's supposed to be conducted and followed. It's more English, an old English form
It's really
of governing, and nobody does it, and so it's like, stop calling it that. Even to get it to you, it's copyrighted. And so you have to go purchase your own Robert's Rules of Order book. And so it just is super big pain.
So do you want to write in here, follows principles to be determined later?
Yeah,
Just to move on from this at this point in time?
yeah. Or you just strike paragraph number 2.
Mac, would you be willing to share that new documentation?
Yeah,
with everybody?
I can send it out.
And everybody can
and
review
give
it on
it
their
to
own
you.
time.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
I guess that I'll make a motion to change paragraph 2 to follow the principles to be determined later.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Further discussion? All in
I have
favor?
I have a question, which might be, do we want to put a date on that? Like, we'll decide that at our next meeting. We will have, just to keep us moving forward on that. So we'll be able to look at the document that you guys have, Mac, and then talk about it at our next meeting.
Okay.
Very wise.
You guys okay with that change?
At the
to motion?
next meeting.
Okay, so we added that. Do we have a second on that change? All right. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Shall be slow. So down to section 1 on the quorum shall consist of at least. We figured that out with 24, you have to have at least 11.
It would be 13, wouldn't it?
13, 11 sounds good. So 13 on there.
You could also just leave it as a majority of the current number of members in case you don't have a full 24 in the future, then you don't have to change this document. Just an idea, but it's up to you guys.
So just eliminate the 13 and put in there a majority of the numbers set, the majority of the number
Of current
of
members, maybe.
current members.
That's up to you.
I kind of like that idea.
That would allow you to have a meeting anyway.
Okay. Do you have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Shall be so.
You guys online can vote if you want to.
They're just raising their hand.
Yeah.
Where's we getting some water?
Don't hear any of them vote.
No, I don't either.
As far as the Open and Public Meetings Act,
That's law.
yeah, that is something you guys will be responsible for. You can leave it as is, you can specify whichever chair's county is hosting that meeting will be responsible to get it posted. You can have one person post it every time.
I thought we were always having you.
Oh,
Don't we always have a you?
no,
Oh,
not for that.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can, if it's created, so are you guys creating the Utah Public Notice at the website, or do we need to do that on our own?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
doing it just because you're still getting set up, but you'll be responsible to do it through
Okay.
the public notice website.
Okay, we can just give the access, the admin rights to that body
Mhm.
to both co-chairs,
Both
and then
co-chairs.
we can just make sure we get it posted.
Okay.
As long as the site's not under maintenance, which.
Um,
Okay, meetings are held quarterly. Notice of a meeting shall be posted at least 1 week prior.
You can change that if you want. So legally, it's 24 hours.
24 hours.
5.
I think it's 1 week prior is a good reminder. I know that's kind of following the practice that you guys have been under, getting us the invite and everything a week in advance. It's been pretty awesome.
Right.
And we just need to be quicker on the agenda side of it.
Under agenda, I assume you want to say the co-chairs.
Co-chairs. And discretion of co-chairs. Chair shall ensure. Um, like the electronic meetings section of it, because it allows all of us to participate.
Do we want to leave that optional, or do we want to say that we shall hold electronic meetings? Or does it matter?
It's a shall right now, right?
First sentence says may hold.
Okay.
It says May.
Maybe a shall. You guys okay with the shall on there? And we just,
The only question I have is what if there's an issue with technology that day? If we have a shall in there and the technology is not working, then we can't have a meeting?
yeah.
Well, we could,
Maybe
we
hard
could
to get a
provide,
quorum.
we could provide for instances like that, but given the geographic distance that some of us live in, it sure is a nice option to be able to take advantage of to attend.
Could do like a shall hold electric meetings when feasible.
When possible, yeah.
When possible.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, we almost had that problem this morning, right?
Yeah.
The internet was down here.
Yep.
I will say, if you want the state to provide your Google Meet links, we can. I don't know, it's not that hard to create a Google Meet link, but
It's not.
Yeah, but there's limits to what, if my personal, since I don't have a Google Meet like the state does, I can only have so many people and only for an hour at
Yeah.
this point in time. I don't know that counties can do more than that.
Counties have Zoom, and so we purchased the membership in Zoom, and
okay.
that's what we do our meetings off of. And so that's what I think we're on today.
Yeah, we're on Zoom today.
The city does the same thing, right?
Mhm.
So we'll be doing Zoom, not Google Meet.
Okay.
We'll be zooming.
That works.
Is everybody okay with those changes? On that? Take a motion for those changes. Discussed. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion with that? Okay, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Nay.
Next thing is you do need to set an anchor location. You don't have to meet there, but it does have to exist.
Does it have to be the same location every time, or can it be either the Grand County Commission Chambers or the place, the Hideout? Since there's co-chairs, you can have two places.
Oh, no, my understanding was it had to be one singular place. I could ask our Attorney General guy.
I believe the anchor, you can move the anchor location around, you just have to have one.
Yeah, you have to have one anchor location, but
For
you,
the year.
for the year, but you don't have to meet there. I don't really
Meeting.
understand.
I think it's more for the public to be able to attend if they want to and not virtually.
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah.
my understanding. You pick
But I
one
don't
location.
I don't see why it couldn't change, but maybe it can't. I don't.
So if we
Mac,
put-
you said it was for a year?
Well, so in every body, you have to advertise in the paper your meetings and that location. And so I think if we put both anchor locations in, and then in our annual advertising, we list which meetings are going to be held at.
Does it say in here we have to put an annual notice? Because as far as I know, districts or other things, you only have to publish the annual meeting notice if you have one. Like if you have them set in advance. And I don't know that we will.
Yeah, that's true. If you set all your meetings for the year, you have to publish them. If you're
But
doing
if
it-
we just play it by ear every time, then you don't, right?
Good, yeah.
I would suggest for the sake of certification from the state council, just put one location here. And then, with every meeting notice, just say, this will actually be held at wherever.
Okay. Putting the Hideout on there. Just as an address, we just go through and reserve it.
I think it makes sense to use Monticello because it's basically in the middle. That's my opinion.
I like that reasoning.
Okay. Any other issues on that one? That section, please. Yeah, we'll take a motion to accept that change for the anchor location. Anybody
Make a
wants to-
motion.
Okay, you got a second?
Second.
Got a second. Any other further discussion with that? Okay, not seeing any, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Those opposed, say nay. Okay.
If that section 5 here on procedures, we need to change a little bit.
Co-chair, just the language on the chair, switch it to co-chair. Are you seeing anything else in that?
I was seeing the Robert's Rules of Order in section 5 of section 5.
5 of 5.
Yeah, who knows that?
Could that just be another to be determined at next meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it does say may be used.
May.
Mhm.
What's it saying here, if I read it correctly, is that may be used and any departure from it may not be used to invalidate it. So it's impertinent to us at this point in time if we choose to go a different route.
So,
Okay, let's just leave it then.
okay. All right.
So I have a question. And part of this, probably because I wasn't here last time, but what's the purpose of this council? What, I mean, we're all meeting, we have all these rules, what are we supposed to do? And what is it that we recommend? What is it that, I mean, I know that Travis is gonna want to know this, so I'm only asking the questions.
We did have a long discussion about this last time.
I apologize about not being there, but
We didn't have a resolution.
you didn't have a resolution. Okay.
Yeah,
So what is this? What is this for?
you want me to tackle this?
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's not regulatory, you're not making decisions on anything. It's basically, the councils are a dedicated way to get things up to the legislature and governor. So you can take any ideas or concerns or suggestions to the state council and they report to the legislature and governor every year. So it's really a way to give a voice to your area that's, already has a method in place. You always know you're able to communicate through that.
Perfect. That's pretty easy.
Dan and I think Holly both mentioned in the last one, it's a good place to come together and work on projects and try and get some collaboration
Yeah.
for different projects in our area,
Projects. What's?
water related.
so
Well, I figured they'd be water related with
Yeah.
the Watershed Council. I got that.
it's all
I have an account. but
flowing
you got that.
downhill.
So what would be a watershed project that, that is out there?
So I was thinking through
currently
this
working
this morning. So you had, just this last year, you had in Garfield County, that Penguich Lake Dam, and that's a huge part of their watershed collection. Yet, they had a problem with the dam. And, it's, for me, on these projects, it's each water system that relies on these watersheds, they're gonna have their capital projects that they want to see or have to have here in the future. And so a lot of it for me is bringing everybody together. Okay, what are your needs? Establishing those needs. We seen last year, the Upper Colorado River Basin Authority had reached out to us in this area and they had grant funding available, but it was very minimally attended. No projects were really put forth, but yet here's an opportunity that passed us by, to do improvements on our dams or reservoirs, or, when you take it, the overall utilization of the upper basin, we say, everybody tells us that we're underutilizing and not taking the amount of shares out of the Colorado River that we should. And part of that could be in reservoirs, and so it's taking a look holistically at all of this watershed and putting together potential projects, things that we'd like to see here in the future, kind of being a little bit more forward thinking in our water storage and collection. And then when funding does come around and when it opens up and it's available, that we have these projects that are top of mind, that we can put in for it to better all of our systems throughout this region. So that's kind of
Flooding fits right in there, especially right now.
Yes, right now. You see all the flood water going down the river, you're like, hey, sure would have been nice to hold some of that.
Right. A big theme of the last meeting was if we have such a diverse group of people involved that have various different opinions, if we can hammer out something that we can all agree to here at this level, it greases the wheels farther up. Because if you've got some particular group that might really be against a project, why? Get those concepts out there and get a buy-in from a variety of different opinions before it gets to the legislature. To avoid the fight there or minimize it.
It's true.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I was kind of wanting a high level, so it's
No,
perfect. you
that's
know.
fine. Yep.
And I do want to go on record and say that Travis will decide what he wants to do with this. This is not a Doug Garrett decision. I wish it was, but
You
it's
might be
not.
the proxy though.
No, I'm not sure you want me to be the proxy. I would be asking, well, how much does that cost? That's like-
Hey, and that's, so you need that.
So I think if we do this, we have people in the plant that would be certainly a lot more informed and being able to speak a lot more intelligently about water and all that good stuff. So
There's definitely power in numbers, and if you're, going for projects or asking for funding, having the backing with multiple parties and stakeholders is gonna give you an edge up. And not to complicate it more, but Colorado River law definitely plays a part here, so
Absolutely.
definitely more power
Absolutely.
with more people.
I do like the bottom up approach as well. I mean, we've seen these state mandates all the time, and you wish they would communicate down at the lower levels so that they could understand, the hurt that they cause in some of their legislative acts. And so hopefully through this, it gets us a seat at the table. We have Commissioner Winfield that's going to be our liaison with the state legislator and trying to champion, these projects down here when, trying to compete with the Great Salt Lake, there was a bunch of money that was funneled into saving the Great Salt Lake because the dust is going to kill people. And now studies come out and show that dust isn't really that bad, but yet a ton of money went that area. But yet down here, we've got the Lake Powell that was borderline shutting everything down, yet it didn't get any notice and any funding or appreciation of the circumstance that lake was in. Okay. And so hopefully this gives us a bigger seat at the table.
Yeah.
But it's more bottom up.
that will help me explain to Travis what we're doing here. So that'd be good. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to join on the organizing part.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I'm sure if he
Get to the
has
fun stuff
more
eventually.
questions, he can call anyone up. He can call Mac, Trisha.
Bill, did
me.
you contact Travis? Is that?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tasked with that, and I didn't respond back to an email. I think that went out about our contacting because he hadn't responded back to me yet, but he just did a couple of days ago.
Okay, so with that, any other changes to the organizing documents? Other than those that we've discussed and voted on? Let's just do a final vote for the overall with changes. As accepting these organization document and policies going forward.
Make a motion, we adopt the document as with the changes that we've made here today.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing or seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those that are opposed, say nay. Right, looks like it passes unanimously. All right, on to, that was a big lift right there.
Yeah, well done, everybody. This is
So-
not the most fun part of this.
So on this, I think we kind of touched on this. This next item is discussion of the watershed system, watershed capital project development. We put this on here and just keep in mind, and I touched on it just a second ago, is, that Garfield County with Panguitch Lake, that affects multiple entities downriver, downstream from that. And we hopefully never get into that type of a situation here and in this region, but nevertheless, as we go forward, would like all of you to think of, projects, struggles that you have within your water operating systems, within that watershed. If there's projects that you'd like to see happen, would like to put those on the table and just start kind of mapping out our future needs. I know that, just thinking of this region, Monticello City, we've been encouraging for multiple years and trying to push them, to get an additional reservoir here. And, there's just systems that can take some time, but I think having them on a capital plan and being a little bit more forward thinking then makes a lot more sense. In Spanish Valley, where we've been looking at retention basins so that we could try to slow the flood water, at least on Pat Creek. It doesn't do too much on Mill Creek, but even Mill Creek, you see those floods come through, and it seems like the pioneers back in the day had some answers. They were willing to get everybody together and build systems to retain water. And I think we need to be looking at those opportunities to not only protect our businesses now, but also protect the water in the future. And so that's kind of why we listed that on here. We wanted you to have some time and come hopefully to this next meeting a little bit prepared of what projects you'd like to see within this area, within this region, so we can start putting the list together and go to bat for everybody in these projects. Anybody?
Flood related, I know that at one time when Chuck was still at the city, there was discussion similar to San Juan's discussion of flood retention on Pack Creek, but I believe Chuck was working on something on Mill Creek also, but I have no idea what that was, but it could still be ongoing. I just know Chuck left, and so I'm not sure where that is, but there is some conversation at the city about the flood issue on Mill.
Chuck was definitely pushing a public warning system.
Who is?
Chuck was definitely pushing a public warning system, and the county's pushing that right now, and they actually hired.
Yes. Yeah, Cora's working on it.
To take care of that, and that's actually moving forward. I'm kind of happy with the way it's moving forward, but anything we could do to support Cora would be great.
Yes.
But I believe what she's doing right now is as fine as work we're gonna get. In terms of what her plan for her project are. Maybe we could have Cora here to tell us what she's doing in terms of emergency notification. And that might be helpful to San Juan County to see what we've done in the past, what Grand County's doing. That might be helpful for you guys, Matt.
So we have that. We throughout this region, Colorado, they've been really good to us watching the storms. We get their notifications on any storm that comes across our mountain regions here. We had a flood monitoring device in Pack Creek until this last flood, and it took it out. And so they're only as good as the things
Mac,
can survive on the.
everybody in the theater for the Thursday night showing of Horizons, everybody's phone went off at the same time.
Did it on the notification?
Warning us about impending weather.
So there are the systems in place, yeah. But we do definitely need to be better at it, but then we can reach out to Chuck again. He's still he's still here. He still resides in Moab. We can reach out to him, just see where he was at with his thoughts.
So I see a wide variety of scope of projects, some really major projects in the way of retention. There are some fairly small, relatively small projects that could be fairly important.
Yeah.
Like right now, we don't have any way to measure the North Fork of Mill Creek. The big flood of August 2 years ago came from the North Fork. All the meters that we had on the South Fork,
yeah,
those were there's no big deal. And then it turned out to be 5,000 CFS, right?
Yeah.
Getting a meter on the North Fork for flood control and warning.
Yeah.
Would be really good.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And those are achievable. Those smaller projects are definitely more achievable.
See, that's what I'm thinking of is, from the irrigation company side, we've got a few small things, relatively small, that could make a difference. In the way of improving efficiencies and monitoring.
Yeah,
You know what we got.
with ours, we partnered with USGS, and I believe the Division of Drinking Water also had a piece of that. And in San Juan County, we pay the maintenance on the equipment there, and so It's definitely possible
I
adding-
believe our next meeting is in Grand County and Trish is co-chairing that, correct?
Correct, yep.
Maybe we could, Trish, see if we can get Cora to give us an update at that meeting on some of that emergency
Response, yeah.
response
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
And I can chime in with a little short update, and the biggest problem right now is getting permits for locations for precipitation gauges. That's one of the things she's wanting to do as a stopgap measure, and that's been hard to accomplish.
So for this next meeting, we'll add this back onto the agenda and just have a much more good discussion about potential projects, get a list going of just thoughts, and then we can move forward on some of these likely projects. And so reach out to your partners if there's anybody that's helped on these systems, especially on the flood mitigation side of it. We'll do so on our side of it as well. See how we can help. Okay, the next item on here, discuss potential field trips, presentation and future agenda items. I know Trish wanted to have this on there. Trish, what were you thinking, Commissioner, as far as?
That wasn't, I don't remember wanting that on there, but so, yeah, I'm good. I didn't, you know, if we can throw Cora, having Cora present, I think that's great. And then, like you said, just discussing, you know, our capital projects, what we want to do next time. I think we can move on to the next agenda item.
I'll just say really quick, I threw field trips on there. The division will fund one field trip for every council, mostly because we want you to like get out and get to know each other and see your watershed a little. So if you wanted to see, you know, someone's infrastructure, if you wanted to see flooding sites, we'll pay for your lunch, we'll reimburse your mileage. So we're really encouraging everyone to do that. Right when you're starting is a great time to just form those relationships.
One of the things that I've talked to Mark Stilson about a whole bunch is down in Cedar City, they capture water, surface water. So that, since we've all been working on it, he's been trying to get me to go down there and look at it. Maybe we can all go do that. And see something like, you know, that's actually working in practice.
Are you talking about Ketchikan?
Ever been up to the Tusher Dam at Green River? And that's water that eventually comes down here. If you've never seen the Tusher Dam, you've never been to Disneyland. I don't know if anybody even would want to go, but it's one of the coolest projects
Really? Okay, that'd be interesting to see.
on the whole system that I've ever seen. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. And it's great they even included the boaters when they were thinking about that one.
Yeah.
It would actually cost them more to do the need, it was funded with emergency watershed through the NRCS. And it apparently cost them more to do the EIS than it did to actually build the dam.
I'll bet.
But the point being is that it in turn it solved a whole lot of problems for Green River and and it included everybody else, and it was a great project.
It was kind of made for irrigation mostly, I think.
Yep,
To pull water out of the Green River for.
very advanced fish ladder system that they have there too. I was impressed with.
They took care of everything there.
That's a little bit closer to travel too, rather than Cedar City.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea of the Cedars, at least if not going to Cedar City, get somebody from Cedar City to come and talk to us.
Yeah.
That'd be possibly a lot cheaper and
Right. Easier.
We'd call it a field trip, but it'd be at a regular meeting. We'd have to pay for him.
Yeah,
And you'd probably be able to work that out.
maybe I can. It will be a opportunity. I would, if you want to see something like Tusher Dam, take the money for that. And very politely ask someone from Cedar City to come, or maybe they can hop online and present.
That Cedar City had struggled for years with water for replenishment. You kind of seen that in Enoch City, which is just outside of Cedar City. They both draw from the same aquifer, and Enoch City had put their aquifer in jeopardy by drawing too much of that aquifer down. And so I think there's some good lessons learned to have them come in and present to us about.
Mark talks about that, Mark Stilson all the
Yeah.
time about that aquifer there and the damage that was done to it and the way that they're going about trying to correct all of that.
Right.
Mhm. So I think it'd be good to have them come and
Great presentation.
have that discussion on it. Okay, I'm not hearing any other potential field trips. Those. Going to check out that dam, it'd be pretty cool. Fishing day. Okay, next item on here, we've got scheduled next meeting date and time.
Yep.
So these are quarterly, right? So it's July.
Sneaks up on you.
I know. So the next one will be, if we're following that sequence, October.
It's a good time of year to get out and about.
Good time to be in Moab and that, just in case it's storming here.
How about October 7th?
I am gonna say, Bruce, that's both spike and the first cow season of elk hunting. So I'm gonna try to get you guys not to do that week.
Well, then we need to eliminate all
of October.
Well, we could do that first week of October, the 30th through the 4th.
September 30th?
September
Yeah.
30th.
On to September 30th? That's a Monday, that'll work.
Me too.
Okay.
Are you thinking regular meeting? Do you want to go see the dam? Do you want to decide at a later date?
We can make that an agenda item for next meeting is to decide on an official field trip.
And that's in Moab,
Yeah,
the next meeting. At the county chamber council or is that?
yeah, that would work. Be easy.
So that'd be on the 30th, you say,
Yeah, September 30th.
10 o'clock?
Yeah, same time, 10 o'clock.
And Trish, you'll make sure that the chamber's available?
Yeah, I'll take care of all that.
Okay. And we will make it so.
Is that gonna be a regular meeting then?
Yeah.
And Trish, will you then put out an agenda and an invitation?
Yeah, I will take care of all that.
Okay, thank you.
Have we decided how long these meetings are supposed to be? An hour and a half or 2 hours?
30 minutes?
Why 30? Why not 5?
I don't think it was ever discussed, at least I don't remember.
I think that's for all you.
Yeah.
About
I
an
think we can
hour,
decide that.
about an hour is typical.
Would that be an appropriate venue to discuss like flooding specific items on Mill Creek? I've got a concern about that. The old gabions that were put in place by the old timers that are all made out of sandstone, they've all been silted in. If those hadn't been silted in, neither of the last floods down Mill Creek would have been nearly as bad.
Really?
Because it's all silted in, so the top side of these gabions is level with the sand level. And when the water comes up out of the creek, it just goes right over and around those things and it spreads out. And if those had been, just take a dozer in there and clean some of that silt out to the edges, those gabions would take that first flow of water and slow it down. And there are layers and layers of those things that most people don't even realize are there because they're buried.
Chris, do you want to put that on the agenda?
Yeah, we can definitely.
But yeah, the problem is so many different people have jurisdiction or nobody has jurisdiction up there that nobody's taking head on it.
The hardest part is you're looking at the next meetings in September, and by that point in time, the monsoon season's over with.
It's almost easier to do when it's not
It'd be
flooding.
nice to get that,
Yeah.
somebody to work on that now instead of.
Right.
I'd prefer that as a tour in some of our local infrastructure.
Yeah, let's
We'll
get
talk
on
about it next time.
Have you seen those on like that?
Yeah.
Bill.
A lot of them act.
We're not allowed to touch them because they're over 50 years old. Yes, you know they're there. You know they're there, and yes, they used to work and they were great. We also have other areas where the CCC put things in above Moab that are still
Silted in also.
functioning, but they're not cleaned out and things like that. This flood conversation is going to be one of the things that this council can help with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think you leave it open in terms of the agenda item, and we're gonna talk about what possibilities we have and who could do what.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just to toss something in, I think some people in this group already know this, but the state Office of Emergency Management is doing a analysis of all the drainage within Grand County right now, and they do have an engineering firm working on Mill and Pat Creeks expressly to look at some of that stuff. So it might make sense to link into that, and I can find out more about that and make sure that that's kind of linked in. And I think that's another reason to have Cora there.
Great.
Yeah. I think that was it as far as agenda items that we had listed here. Does anyone have anything else that we need to take care of as far as business? Or
Did we discuss Arnie's question though? I kind of interrupted him with a joke there about 30 minutes, but did we want to?
Just an hour?
Well, I think we got enough to talk about. We're gonna need at least an hour and a half, but I think if you put an hour and a half and we go a few minutes over, that's okay. And know if we can get it done in an hour, sure.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion, that we do have some idea of how long we're gonna be there. So we have
So it's 11:39 now, so we've been in here for an hour and a half. So it's about right.
Yeah.
you know, if we have to have a meeting that's longer, we'll just make it longer.
Yeah. Keeps on going.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Now we go with Bruce.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All right, with that being said, all we have is one final motion to be made.
You made it.
He did it. He did it and he seconded
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry. I was jotting down. So, all right, that's it. We don't need to vote on that one, so. Okay, appreciate you guys being here.
Nice work, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks you
Matt.
guys online.
Good. Good to see you. Such a great picture of you, Matt.